Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the acquisition of Kidlis Group by Zhejiang Semir Garments. Our presentation will be divided in 5 parts. First, I will quickly introduce both companies. Then Etienne will explain with more details the acquisition context. After this, Pierre-Antoine will tell you about the opportunities and challenges of this deal. Johan will speak about China's role, and finally, Archer will conclude with the recommendations. The Zanier Group was created in 1962 by Roger Zanier. They got renamed in 2016 as Kidlis Group and was acquired by a Chinese company, Zhejiang Semir Garments, in 2018. Kidlis Group is the biggest group in France in terms of ready-to-wear clothes specialized for children. They currently own 10 different brands such as Catimini, EKKS, Paul Smith Jr., and many more. The group almost owns 1,000 stores with more than 50% outside of France. In 2018, Kidlis Group annual turnover was of 391 million euros with 52% in international, which means 48% in France. Now let's talk a little bit about the Semir Group, or Zhejiang Semir Garments, which is the full name of the company. It was created in 1997 in the Jiangsu province in China by a Chinese entrepreneur called Qu Guangge. Nowadays, the company owns many brands and other company which regroups a total of 7,500 stores all around the world. One of the main brands they own is Balabala, which is the main brand for children's clothes in China. When Semir Group acquired Kidlis Group in October 2018, they officially became the second biggest company of ready-to-wear for children in the world after the American brand Carter.
For my part, I will focus on the first question, explain what is this deal about, and what is the objective of this capital purchase. First of all, we must remember that the Kidlis company, formerly the Zanier Group, was a mastodont in the children's fashion sector in France and Europe, with a very extensive presence, thanks to its 11,000 stores. For its part, the Semir Group is the leader of children's fashion in China, with a turnover of 1.6 billion euros and is listed on the Shenzhen Stock Exchange since 2011, with a market capitalization of around 3.9 billion euros. It therefore seems logical to say that the Semir Group is by no means a small market player, but one of the largest players in children's fashion in Asia. The Semir Group's stated aim is to become the world number 2 in children's fashion, and to do this, the acquisition of the Kidlis Group will enable them to establish their influence through all Europe. Thanks to the very strong presence of the Kidlis Group on our continent, it seems important to me to add that the acquisition of the Kidlis Group by the Semir Group has another importance. Indeed, with the abolition of the one-child policy in China, the children's fashion market should double by 2025 in China. So this acquisition is therefore motivated by the need to meet national demand by dividing the target. On the one hand, the Kidlis Group will be focused on the premium quality, while the Balabala brand, which is the brand for children in the Semir Group, will be focused on the mid-range. This acquisition of the Kidlis Group by the Chinese giant Semir should enable the latter to reach $2 billion in annual turnover and thus position itself at the world number 2 in children's fashion, behind the American Carter, which has a turnover of $2.8 billion. We can therefore say that this deal will enable the Semir Group to extend its clientele very widely by getting an access to all Europe thanks to the Kidlis Group, and thus to acquire a significant international presence, but also to meet the growing demand for children's fashion brands in China. Thank you.
Zanier Group renames itself Kiddies Group, objective to support its development abroad. In fact, that year it achieved more sales outside its borders than in France. A first. Today, of the 427 million euro in business, and 52% is made by foreign clients. Having become the leaders in children fashion in Europe, the group has a network of more than 11,000 points of sales and 830 owned stores around the world, with its SZ Katimini Kiddies brand. A unique positioning that will not escape to the Chinese group Semir, the multi-brand leader in fashion in its country, but also the local leader in children fashion with the Bala Bala brand. With this takeover, the objective is twofold. First, to gain access to the premium segment thanks to the 15-ounce brands of Kiddies and Kiddies license. Then, to become a world leader in children fashion with the complementary of the two groups. In this market, even more fragmented than that of adults, Kiddies and Semir will give birth to a huge group that will take the place of world number 2 behind the American Carters. Sam Q, the president of the Semir Group, said that this transaction represents a strategic and exciting development for the group, with the very clear ambition to build a world leader in children's fashion by uniting our two companies, he said. And our strengths are very complementary and synergies exist in the areas of market access and globalized supply. So what it tells about the Chinese investment. So China has been investing everywhere since the 21st century. Increasing investment is not just about the United States. Since 2013, we have seen a very strong increase all over the world, particularly in Europe. This appetite for the United States can nevertheless be explained by the recovery of the American economy. The exchange rate are advantageous, and the policy of increasing interest rate is proving very attractive to Chinese investors. By investing their money in dollars, they can achieve very large gain. Besides the monetary reason, there is also a reason for sector diversification. China wants and must improve its technological capacity. Services, for example, has developed a lot in the country in recent years, such as e-commerce, but the technologies are still insufficient. Companies therefore need to improve and acquire this very important word that is know-how. The know-how from large foreign first specializing in these fields.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about China's global role. So China's goal is to continue to increase its economic development by expanding its fairs around the world. China plays an increasingly important role in the economy in terms of economic development and export. In terms of FDI, China is more and more in other countries, especially in the Belt and Road framework. From 2005 to 2017, China spent over than 734 billions in construction projects all around the world, and with the largest amount spent in North America and Europe. In recent years, China has expanded its investment focus from resources and raw materials to strategic acquisition intended to increase the market competitiveness of Chinese products and companies. So China is no longer a simply very attractive country, but it's becoming a country that plays a major role in global economy and is seeking to expand beyond its own borders. Now, from the point of view of the EU, the European governments and businesses, I think that Siemens' takeover of the group changed the French ownership to the Chinese ownership of a large number of brands and revenues that benefits the French economy. So the Chinese economy is strengthened in this area where France is losing speed. In 2019, the Kiddies Group represented a turnover of 391 million euros, which now benefits to the Chinese economy. For the French businesses, Competition is getting even harder and harder, the Orchestra Group, for example, which is a competitor of Kennedys, will be strongly impacted by the competition of the Semir Group, which now dominates the French market and the international market alongside the American cartels. So now for the EU, the Chinese FDI may, however, represent a certain threat for Europe. Indeed, some European policies that describe Chinese investment as favorable for the Chinese export through distribution, spares, parts, and services, but thus do not create a kind of well-paid jobs that FDIs from rich countries have created and supported in the past years. Another threat is that under the Chinese political regime, in the communist system where the state holds the majority of the stakes in various companies seeking FDI, there is a suspicion that these companies are acting to achieve strategic objectives rather than profit maximization. The recent explosion of Chinese FDI abroad does pose a complex dilemma for European policymakers. On the one hand, Chinese acquisitions have the potential to improve and possibly save struggling European companies, benefiting employees, shareholders, and local economies. On the other hand, Chinese investments are accompanied by several national security concerns, such as commercial espionage or potential political leverage.
Okay, so here we're going to talk about the bilateral relations between France and China as a comprehensive strategic partnership. So the strategic dialogue occurs since 2001, and the last session was 2019, and it addresses all areas of cooperation and aims to strengthen the dialogue on global issues such as reform of global economic governance, climate change, regional crisis, and so on. We also have a high-level dialogue on human exchanges. It concerns academic, scientific, and cultural exchanges, promotion of women's rights, gender equality. We also have scientific and technological cooperation, focusing on the fight against infectious disease. On another hand, the public opinion respects and welcomes the Chinese community in France in a personal or professional manner. However, the French public opinion is overwhelmingly concerned about the respect of human rights in China. In this way, France regularly expresses its concerns publicly during high-level talks, particularly regarding the death penalty, freedom of expression, religion, and the situation in Tibet, in Xinjiang. So France takes an active part in the framework of the EU-China dialogue on human rights, which the last session was 2018. So concerning the situation and recommendation that we could have, since last week we have seen that in the news that the group has been placed in judicial redress on the 10th of September. Indeed, with the restructuring to be carried out after the Chinese takeover and with this year health crisis, the group is going through a quite difficult period. The obtaining of a state-guaranteed loan amounting to 50 million euros was conditional on a capital contribution of 30 million euros by its shareholder Semir. Although the group is powerful and listed on the Shenzhen Stock Exchange, it refused to do so, plunging the deficit to nearly 80 million euros this year compared to the 23 million last year. But the current situation of COVID-19 doesn't explain all the company's difficulties. As they say, the group has been managed on an assets basis for years, and the Chinese Semir has not taken the measure of the necessary restructuring since 2018. The general opinion underlines the fact that the new owner never ever has invested to the aids of his project. The recommendation that we could make would perhaps be to improve the interaction and communication between Chinese and French staff to benefit from the best possible conditions to take up this ambitious project, ambitious both for France and China. So in conclusion, the Chinese investment in the Kidiliz group has not lived up to expectations. A lack of knowledge or communication has probably penalized its development. We can therefore observe that the Chinese investment in specialized subsidiaries abroad despite good intentions and the will to expand its presence worldwide, is not every time successful. But nevertheless, we hope that the group will be able, with the help of his shareholders, to overcome the crisis and make up for the recently accumulated deficit.